Well, hello again, everybody. Texas Sun Fun here with an update on what's happening in my little piece of heaven. I finally got the aquaponics system plumbed out and up and running. You can hear the water coming down into the sump there. The rain barrel here has been catching so much rain that I had to actually drain out about 100 gallons after the last rainstorm. Here's where the fish are eventually going to live. It needs a little bit of work still, so I haven't put any fish in there, but I do have the system up and recycling at the moment. There's my radial flow filter, and as you can see, I'm missing some plumbing pieces there for the drain out on the radial flow system. But other than that, things are going pretty good. There's a view down into the radial flow. You can see the water coming up, and a little bit of stuff there that I need to clean out. The biological filter doesn't actually have anything in it at the moment. I still need to go out and purchase the plastic filtration media, and then the sump is doing really good. I'm going to open that up here for you. You can see I'm getting real good flow there coming out of the system, and the plumbing for the entire system is relatively complex in some ways. The water drains out of the IBC tote right there, comes down to a T that acts as an anti-siphon device, and then I built in bypasses on every single one of the different systems, so that way if I need to take a single component offline at any point, I can. And the water, instead of draining into the radial flow and then over here, I can just have it bypass the radial flow filter and then drain most of the water back down to the sump over here, and then just open this and it will drain only about 10 or 15 gallons out of there. I can also do the same thing with my biological filtration. All I have to do is just hit the close the bypass, or open the bypass rather here, cap off the pipe that's inside the bucket, and then it will go directly over to the sump. I have a drain out here that drains back over to the sump, and then all I would need to do is just open up this at the bottom and I can drain out any goop that gets caught at the very bottom. So in a nutshell, that's what's been happening with the aquaponics system. I did bring out one of my workbenches here, and you can see all of my little plantings are going pretty good here. I got a lot of good basil going there. I just started some corn the other day, so you can see a few little shoots off of there, but they're still in the germination process. And then I've got some mater plants back over here and some bean plants that are about ready to transplant now. And I got some more tomato plants right here, and nothing in this whole tray has taken off very well, so I'm probably going to have to end up scrapping that tray. I also purchased a little device off of Amazon. It is called a pest pistol, and what that allows me to do is put down dictamaceous earth, food grade dictamaceous earth, anywhere that I see fire ants in my garden. So that way I don't have to worry so much about there being fire ants and stuff like that. I also went out and bought a couple of these at my local big box, relatively inexpensive, because I noticed that there were some aphids on one of my apple trees. So I put the soap water and the neem oil on the apple tree, and I haven't seen any aphids since. This makes a nice little storage area here that I can store all of the stuff that I'm not currently using, and keeps the rain off it, stuff like that. I did go out and purchase an improved Myers lemon tree, so I'm real excited about that. Can't wait. There are actually some lemons on this guy already. There's some there, and there's some down here that you can see. There's a couple over there. Let's see, where are they? There they are. So we're going to have a good crop of lemons this year. There's another little guy right there. And then, moving out to the hydroponic side of things, I had built this racking a couple of weeks ago, and I was planning on using it a little bit differently, but I've repurposed it because I've found a way that I can actually take 1 gallon milk jugs, fill them up with my perlite vermiculite mixture, and then just put a drain off of the top. And when I'm ready to start the system up, all I'll need to do is take my drip drains, tie it off here, and then put a dripper in there, and all of my plants will start to, you know, do their thing and grow. I was originally going to use a bucket type system with drains in the bottom, but I found that this system I think is going to work a lot better for me. So I'm going to try this gallon milk jug system out and we'll see what happens. All of the drain out will actually flow to where I have this system up and running. It'll all drain down to this, which then goes over to the sump for the hydroponic system. Inside of there I've got a, believe it's a 1/2 or a 1/5 horse sump pump that pumps the water up to the top, comes across, and then I've got some shut-off valves that bring the water down to this area over here, which then flows into all of my little buckets. As you can see, I've got some drippers going, and I have some corn planted in this one, and that's the only thing that I have planted so far, but it's starting to take off. Pretty excited about that. And then we have the Dutch bucket system. This is doing really good. I have 36 different buckets going right now. I built myself some snagless trellis so that way all of the plants can train up. In fact, I've got some pole beans here that I just started training up towards the trellis using some bamboo pieces that I happen to have in the garage. And for those of you that remember my previous post for Nana and Jessica that were able to plant anything that they wanted, these are their 2 buckets right here. I think Nana has some corn in there and maybe some watermelon, and I think Jessie has a watermelon and some basil and a little pea plant, and I'm not sure what that one is, maybe a squash or something. But you can see all of my plants are doing really good. They're absolutely loving this bucket system that keeps them watered consistently from the bottom. We got all kinds of things. All I did in order to label each bucket is I just took a piece of red duct tape and wrote on it with a Sharpie. Seems to work very well, and that way I know what's inside of each plant. For instance, this one right here has a Cherokee purple heirloom tomato and some lunchbox orange sweet peppers in it. And the top label right here relates to the plants that are in the back, and the front, or the bottom label, relates to the plants that are in the front. This system has been going absolutely exceptional. Here's the bucket that actually houses the water that waters all of these plants automatically. I don't have to do any watering on any of these plants. They're going to grow completely by themselves. You can see that the water is really brown and kind of ooky right now. That's because we had a big rainstorm, and the water, some of the water flowed back out of these buckets back into my water storage here. And in fact, I had so much rain and so much water that I had to end up drilling a couple of drain holes in here so that way the system wouldn't constantly overflow on me. Now we'll move back out here to the compost pile. I've been adding a lot of stuff to the compost pile, and I found out that my local Starbucks, and in fact all Starbucks, if you ask them, will save up their used coffee grounds. So we've been getting a lot of coffee grounds from Starbucks. The roses that I had cut back and done a hatchet job on earlier this year, they're really starting to bloom out. You can see all of the buds that are going to become roses here shortly on that. And they're just all over this thing. The other rose bush is really starting to put off some really pretty roses here. It's starting to bloom out. And look at these peaches already this year. I'm so excited. We're going to have an amazing crop of peaches this year. And on to my little blackberries. There's one of the little blackberry plants. He's starting to bloom up. And this guy over here, he's finally starting to get a few leaves on him, so that's pretty exciting. These are strawberries that are popping up that I had planted earlier this year, so I'm super excited about those. And this is the apple tree that had the aphids on it that I used the soap water and the neem oil on. And just glancing at it here, I don't see any more aphids, so the soap water and neem oil appears to have taken care of that problem. Now, I did get my raspberry bushes planted. There's one there and there's one over here, but I haven't had the time yet to come back through and make the bed, so I'll probably be doing that a little bit later on today. And then here's my other little apple tree, our other peach tree, and here's the construction zone where all the magic is happening. Until next time, folks, y'all have a great day, and I hope you have a lot of fun growing your veggies.